I have been working through and helping people with a new program by Shaun T called Cize, spelled C-I-Z-E. So much fun. It's all about dance and movement and having a good time, and then the side effect is that you get a great workout while having fun. Great with friends and family. It's fantastic for a group event. I know that it's now a certification. You can also take it live. It's been fantastic for my people using the flat belly system and for people with diastasis recti and other core issues, because within the dances themselves there's not anything really that we have to modify further than their dancers. However, there are these great abdominal videos that go along with Cize, great for core strength. However, for people working through the flat belly system with diastasis recti or with a core lower back injury, the exercises are not doable without further modifications, and so that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you some basic movement that you can then take and use instead of those 8-count abs that he has recorded for Cize. You can turn the music on, you can have fun with it, you can turn these into 8-count movements, but they're safer for you. I want you to start slowly, work through them, make sure that you feel right about the form, and if you're working through the flat belly system, you know that you're already making that mind-body connection to make sure that you're not furthering your injury, that you're helping it heal. And so hopefully these exercises will help you. You can take this video and you can do it once the first time, maybe the next time you pull it out, maybe you can do it a couple of times, just depending on where your strength is today, and from day to day that tends to change as we try to improve and heal our injury. So here we go. Instead of lying down, you will start from a standing position, and we're just going to warm up the abdominal walls a little bit. Roll the shoulders back down and squeeze the shoulder blades down low and behind you, and then tuck your tailbone under you. Make sure your ribs are in line with the rest of you and buttoned in. Okay, so now we just start with our basic knee lift. This is not a crunch, this is a basic knee lift. And immediately the brain goes to the lowest part of the abdominals, like you just zipped up something that's a little bit too snug. So pull that area up and in. The skin between the navel and the pubic bone. Pull that up. Okay, and now we're just going to add a single leg extension. So lift the knee up, extend, in and down. Lift the knee up, extend, in and down. So now you're stabilizing, making sure that you can add a lever. If you're not ready for the extension yet, that's okay. But pull all those muscles up and in and keep them strong through this extension. Let's do one more on each side. Now we're going to add a straight leg. So straight leg and reach across with the opposite arm. I am not doing a crunch. I am not making my spine flex and move. I'm just lifting the leg using the strength of my abdominal walls. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring the hands to where you can see them slightly over the forehead. Make sure all of this can stay pulled in. If not, bring the arms closer to shoulder level, and then lift and circle the arms underneath the knee. If you can't lift the knee up high enough to reach underneath, that's okay, just touch the knee. Keeping the muscles engaged and pulled up for 5, 6, 7, 8, and then push against your leg. That is going to create a different kind of feel in your abdominal walls when you actually push against that leg. Make sure that you can feel the engagement happen. That's really important. One leg only, right? Not two. 5, 6, 7, 8. Take it down to your side. Very small amount of sideline series here. Tuck the tailbone under you so that your feet are just slightly in front of you. Make sure this shoulder is under the other shoulder, not sticking out. Lay your head down, one hand in front for now, find your position, and then reach that arm up overhead. And then bring the hand and the leg towards each other without pushing your abdominal wall down into the mat. Keep it lifted. So imagine that you can create space between your side and the mat. Hold all of that stuff up and in, and you just zipped up something that's too tight. Pair of jeans, tight workout pants, hold that skin up and in. 7 and 8. And then just flip over using your hands to the other side. Tuck that shoulder under. Find your positioning, feet slightly in front of you, shoulders down, back, and away from your ears, and reach up with the hand. Keeping everything strong and sturdy in the entire section. One more. And then going to a modified plank. So hands go under the shoulders, come up to the knees. Adjust this position slightly. Tuck the tailbone way underneath you. Keep your glutes strong and pull that skin up from your navel to your pubic bone. Nice and firm and strong. Shoulders away from the ears. Now, to do our modified plank walk, you're going to need to start by doing one hand and one knee at a time. So one hand, then one knee and one hand. And then you'll come back same way. So you're using one body part at a time to sort of get the feel for keeping your body still like a board. You want little movement in the back to do this correctly. Now as you get stronger, you're going to move your hand and your knee at the same time. Make sure though that you can control it and that you're not a worm shifting and wiggling all over your mat. And then come back. I'm going to make sure that you can see my legs here. We're going to do alternating leg out. So just stretch one leg out and then put it back down. Other leg, stretch it out and put it back down. Nothing else is changing, right? We're keeping all those muscles nice and strong and pulled in, the tailbone tucked under, and that muscle pulling up, the muscle from hip bone to hip bone, your transverse abdominis pulling up and strong the whole time. And one more on each side. And now we're going to go down to a dolphin. Now take your time if this is your first time doing this. Come down to your elbow, other elbow, and hand and hand. And do the other side, elbow, elbow, hand, hand. You want minimal rocking. You want your hips to stay nice and steady, not rocking side to side. Keep them strong. That same muscle group pulling up and in. And one more. Then come up and bring your knees closer underneath your hips. Flat back. Tuck the tailbone under slightly. Push up in between your shoulder blades so that you're not down here. Okay, pull that part up. Now, take one leg out and just underneath towards the other elbow without doing a cat stretch. Okay, so everything is nice and still except for that leg. And you're making sure that the core stays nice and strong and pulled in. 6, 7, and 8. Then extend and set it down. Other side does the same thing. Take it under and towards the opposite elbow, but it's not going to touch because you're not flexing and extending your spine. You're keeping that part like a table. 6, 7, and 8. Then put your toes together, sit back on your heels and walk your hands out into a nice child's pose. Allow the spine to stretch out nice and long. And then round the spine to come up over the hands. This is our little stretch. So go down to a table, stretch into a cat. Notice I'm not doing cow. I'm doing table and then a cat stretch. Take this cat stretch halfway between cat and child's pose. Let the lower back release. And there's one round of your abdominals. So turn on either your favorite song or Shaun T. go through it, do 8 counts of each to make it nice and light and fun. And this way you can do your abdominals safely.